Hi guys, today we're going to look at the third of our sheep production recordings, and we're looking at sheep diseases, and we're looking at welfare as well. So again, this won't be that long to go through this because we briefly mentioned some of these in our animal disease and welfare video that we looked at with all the different types of animal production. So again, just a few that are really important, and the first one we're looking at is, you need to know all of these. I'm going to go through them, but again, you just need to sit down and learn these. So twin lamb disease, and what happens again, what causes is a lack of feed in the lead up to in gestation, so sorry, in the lead up to lambing with the sheep. So again, how do you prevent it? Steaming up. That's when you feed them a higher plane of nutrition. So you feed them more concentrates 8 weeks before the yow's lamb. So that's something that's really important, and that's why they call it twin lamb disease, because it used to happen traditionally with yowes having twins because they don't get enough feed. Why is it prevented now? It's because nearly all sheep farmers will scan the yowes so that they'll know if they're having singles, twins, or triplets. So if you were to feed them what you'd be feeding a single yow, they're not going to get enough concentrates, enough nutrition, and there's going to be problems with the lambing. Next one then is ORF. Again, it's a virus, small spots on the udder and the teats. It can be lips, gums, nose. Again, it can cause really, it can cause lots of problems. It can lead to death if it's not treated as well. But again, you have to know how to prevent it. Vaccinate to prevent that. That's how we prevent viruses. Milk fever. Now this can cause problems with cows, cattle, and that as well. Especially milk fever, it's around calving is a problem, and what it is, it's a lack of calcium. Lack of calcium reserves in the body, and it can lead to death as well if it's not treated. How do you treat it? Calcium. Inject calcium, liquid calcium into the yow, and the same with the cow. Grass tetany, again, this is one that can occur with cows and sheep, so it's really important. Usually happens when they're let out the grass for the first time. What happens is they can suffer from grass tetany, which is a deficiency in magnesium. So again, milk fever, deficiency in calcium, grass tetany, deficiency in magnesium. So you need to know both of those can affect both cows and yowes, and there are again problems with it. They can both lead to death if they're not treated. Again, with the grass tetany, you need to treat with magnesium as well. Some clostridial diseases, and these are all clostridial diseases are all bacterial diseases. Again, you can see there's lots of different ones, tetanus, blackleg, and so on. But as we know, you treat bacterial diseases with an antibiotic. So again, these can lead to lots of problems, lack of thrive, listlessness, which is uninterested in they're not alert, they're not interested in eating. There's some of the effects you see, and again, some of these things will lead to death if not treated. You see fly strike there. I mentioned this in previous videos. This is important. 2020, question 5, it was 10 marks, which is 2.5%. Just questions about fly strike. So what is it caused by? You can say maggots of green or blue bottle flies into the sheep's flesh. Okay, lay their eggs in the fleece. Okay, so if you just say blue bottles, that's a cause. Again, how do you prevent it? Some of the porons, dipping the sheep. For some of these ectoparasites, they're the ones on the outside, that are laying eggs in the wool and so on. So again, dipping, or you prevent it with some of these porons, which are more favourable now. And again, you're treating it with insecticides, and you can with antiseptic cream if needed as well. But again, that's a common one. And again, management practices like things like dagging the tail and docking tails are going to prevent fly strike as well. Sheep scab, again, caused by mange mite, feeds on the skin and the flesh of the lamb or the sheep. It can be passed on. How you'd see it, they'll be rubbing up against different things, and their wool being kind of scabby, and hence the name sheep scab. But again, dipping sheep is going to prevent it, and you're trying to prevent that just by good management practices, like even shearing sheep as well. Again, look, the sheep production welfare. So again, they focus on these areas to just ensure like the same when we talk about the 5 freedoms for all animals, but sheep as well, just talk about lameness control, like if a ewe or a lamb is lame, that they must be treated. Mineral supplements for ewes post-mating and lambs pre-weaning, that they're getting excess minerals that they require and that they need to thrive. Meal feeding lambs post-weaning, so you're giving them concentrates. Parasite and fly strike control, be it dipping or maybe some of these pour-ons either to prevent it. And management of pregnant ewes through scanning. So that's important because it prevents twin lamb disease, which we mentioned earlier. So the sustainable beef and lamb assurance scheme, we mentioned this already when we were talking beef production system, but again, it's quality insurance operated by Board BA, so that there's high standards that you're meeting the criteria, so it can be Board BA approved, and you get a premium for your what you produce then as well. Sustainability, so the scheme certifies that lamb comes from farms practicing sustainable initiatives. So again, you need to be shown signs of sustainability. It's similar in dairy. There's excess cent per litre if you're showing that you're being sustainable, and through different practices, like even things like spreading a slurry, that you're doing it with a trailing shoe and not a splash bag, just things like that, sustainability initiatives. And look, we'll be talking that's coming up in all the chapters, but that we're more environmentally friendly, we're treating animals if they're sick, and again we're doing everything that we can to be more sustainable. And that's how it can go on into the future. Just the last thing then we're looking at is just the traceability. So flock registration, farmers must be registered. Their sheep flock, sheep tagging, all sheep must be tagged for identification purposes. Documentation, farmers need to complete dispatch and movement records for all sheep, and the annual census and annual sheep census must be submitted. So things like passports and different things like that will be talked about in dairy production. That's important, that you have all your paperwork in place and everything. Every ewe or lamb that's on the farm is documented, and we can trace the food, so we know what is coming into our food chain, and that will make sheep farming in Ireland more sustainable as well. So that's it for sheep. We'll see you next time.